features with Livingston and Tangela too, and our host Vincent Van Dahl, and he brings it to ya. Creature features and all creatures and all features, and the creature gonna get you tonight. You better not turn out your bedroom light. He'll grab your head and give it such a bite. You may even die, just from a fright. You ain't nothing gonna be, baby. You ain't nothing gonna be alright. Cause the creature gonna get you, baby. Don't get you tonight.
Good evening and welcome to Creature Features 3D. I'm your host, Vincent. With me is my adorable mansion mate, the charming Miss Tangela. And over to this side...
You do know that this will not appear in 3D for the viewers, don't you?
And over to this side is my Luddite-like butler, Mr. Livingston, who has no faith at all in the technical acumen of the skillful and competent staff we employ to bring you creature features each and every week.
And even if we were broadcasting in 3D, the viewers would need a special television and better glasses than yours to see it.
Tangela, did you hear something? I could swear I heard some whinging sounds emanating from the Victorian era.
Oh, please.
'Tis the year of our Lord 2023, my good fellow. Technology has jumped leaps and bounds from that vacuum tube zenith monstrosity you keep in your chambers to watch Captain Kirk cavort about the galaxy. Enough of this. Do we have a most spectacular show in store for you? First up, we shall present a most fabulous movie in 3D entitled The Maze from 1953.
But it won't be in 3D.
Starring Richard Carlson, Veronica Hurst, and Hilary Brooke, this is a fantastic film that features one of the most ghastly monsters ever presented on film. And joining us to watch this multi-dimensional epic will be our old friend, Stuntman Tony Vella. He's appeared in movies and on television, and he is so very skilled at his craft that he can dodge a quick swing from Tangela's tiny fist. Yes, of course, except for that one time. Tony will tell us about his latest gigs, give our viewers advice about how they too can become successful stuntmen, and he'll also chime in about tonight's fabulous film. So don't go away, for it is to be another night of 3D stuntman fright right here on Creature Features. Stay tuned. Stuntman Tony Vella, did you know that if our viewers switched over to Channel 4, they could watch The Godfather, the original first, what do they call that? Godfather 1, Godfather at the beginning, and the second one was The Godfather Strikes Back. He has no response. He just doesn't know.
Absolutely.
Well, no. So we're lucky that they're not switching over. They're still with us, hopefully. And but no, they could be watching The Godfather, and they have to split it over 2 nights because it's such a long film. Anyways, welcome, sir, and welcome to you to Creature Features. Thank you for enduring that introduction and the music and all that. You know, we get complaints from people who say, "I just want to watch the movie. Why are these people talking in between?" Right? And I really don't know what to say. I mean, they're right? We should be showing a movie. But we've got Tony Vella. He's a stuntman. I think he's better than Tom Cruise because no, he's got to work harder than Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise is, I don't know about that bloke. Anyways, how you been?
All right, been great. How about yourself?
Keeping busy?
Yeah, very busy.
I've been wonderful. I've been doing this program, and it's been going on for far too long. I think I want to be a stuntman.
Let's go anytime.
He's the man. He could train anyone to be a stunt person, I suppose I should be saying.
That's the way we say it now. Sure.
You have female students as well.
Yeah, men, women, whatever you like.
I suppose you need... How often do you run into a situation where you've got a female actress who needs a stunt done and a bloke gets into an outfit and puts on a wig?
Can't do that.
What do you mean you can't do that?
Got to be a lady for a lady and a guy for a guy.
Says whom?
Yeah, back in the old days they used to do that. They used to
Right.
call it wigging.
Right.
But now, a lot of the rules have changed. But I'll tell you what, there is a tremendous amount of stunt men and stunt women who can fill the bill.
Right, but is this like a law that you cannot have a man do the woman stunt thing?
Well, within the Screen Actors Guild there is, yes.
Oh, so what about the other way around?
Same way,
See?
yeah.
You learn something every time Tony Vella comes on the show, do we not? All right, we're going to watch The Maze, 1953. Have you seen this one before?
Bits and pieces of it.
Right.
Richard Carlson.
Richard Carlson, very famous. This was apparently a 3D film, and we thought we would be broadcasting in 3D, but Livingston has informed us that we do not have the equipment, and most of our viewers don't have the receiving equipment nor the glasses. So, anyways, a 3D movie in 2D is not so bad, right?
All right.
I mean, it's better than watching a 4D movie in 2D.
I think there was a film called The 4D Man.
Was there? All right. Good, good. All right, well, when we get back, we're going to talk about all your stunt stuff. But first, let's get into this film, The Maze, 1953. You're going to love this film, I hope. See you soon. Welcome back to Creature Features. If you're just joining us, we're with Tony Vella, stuntman extraordinaire. No, he's an amazing dude, and we're going to learn more about him in a moment. But on this film, our director was telling me that Richard Carlson, who stars in this film, this same year he did It Came From Outer Space in 3D as well. And then he did Creature from the Black Lagoon afterwards.
Right, yeah, the following,
like that film?
following year, yeah.
That's
Creature.
one of your favorites. You should make a stunt version of the Creature from the Black Lagoon costume and terrorize your neighborhood. Right? You live next to John Stanley, right?
Very close.
Very close. Yeah. So you go to his house and you knock on the door in this costume and you terrorize John Stanley. It's an idea.
Might not be a bad idea.
It's something Tangella would do. You know what the problem with living with Tangella is you begin to pick up her bad habits.
All right.
You know, she's picked up a couple of my bad ones, like not putting my socks away and things like this. But hers, it's like, I'm tempted to like try dynamite and things like that. That's no good. All right, you're a stuntman, and you've been on a couple of times, and our old viewers know what you do and all that. But let's review. What have you done? How did you get into this thing?
I fell into it.
That's a terrible stuntman joke that should be retired. You should come up with a new one.
We're sort of required to say that.
All right. It's like the ghost hunters. They always talk about spirits. So what were you doing before you became a stuntman?
Lots of odds and ends and
right, but
different
immediately
types of jobs.
before you became a stuntman, what was your job?
I was a auto damage insurance inspector.
See, I knew it. There's a connection because once you see enough crashed cars, right, you say, I could be behind the wheel of these. Instead of standing in front with a notepad, I could be the one crashing the cars. That's what you did, right?
You have no idea how close you are.
See?
Yeah.
So if you want to be a stuntman, you should do a job that's close to it first. That's in the vicinity of being a stuntman. All right, so one day you said, I'm going to be a stuntman. And how do you audition for this? Do you have to jump off a building and not die?
Well, a little more to it than that. I was actually working on an acting career. I was very interested in voiceover. I wanted to do character and animation voices. So I spent a lot of my youth and 20s learning how to do that, which then evolved into being on camera. And it's just that there wasn't enough work, and I found a stunt school that I attended, and it's like, hey, what are you guys doing down there? And throwing punches and fights and falls and everything. I said, you know, I really like this because I'm a big fan of the slapstick comedies and pratfalls
Right.
and Three Stooges and Abbott and Costello and Dick Van Dyke and Jerry
Right,
Lewis and
right.
all these guys, although they're vaudevillians and they were doing it for real. And but these guys were, no, there's a way to do this, and I just got really interested in it. And as I said earlier, I fell into it and stayed with it. So it was just one of these parallel things. Kept doing the regular job while I was trying to work at that, and kept working
Right.
harder and developing it until I could get some actual work at it, and it just kind of took off from there.
And you've merged the two, the acting and the stunts, because I've seen you in a couple of roles where you need to do some acting first before you do the stunt part. So
Yeah,
that's nice.
yeah. I came in. I have legitimate training in commercial improv, method acting.
That's
And
wonderful.
it really was a great crossover because a lot of times now, especially on some of the budgets, they can't afford an actor and a stunt double because the guy's not going to be there for very long, or the
Right.
gal. And come in, say a couple of lines, take the hit, and you're done.
So this poor bloke is paying two unions, not just one. All right, well, let's see what kind of stunts and acting we can see in The Maze. We need to get back to this film, but when we come back, I want to hear some of the roles that
All
you've
right.
done. All right, off we go. The Maze. Don't go away because it's amazing. That was terrible, wasn't it? All right, see you soon.
This is Livingston, and you're watching Creature Features. Not now. Stay tuned. This portion of Creature Features is brought to you by CreatureFeatureStore.com, the official merchandiser of Creature Feature accessories.
Tangella, you still sketch, do you not? You know, if you drew Tippy, Tiny, or the pirate, you could win up to $5,000 in prizes. You should enter this contest because it's wonderful. I think everybody should, but I think Tangella will win because she's out there rather skillful with her drawing skills, is she not?
She does draw on everything.
Like crayons on the walls.
That's as well.
Right. Welcome back. Tony stepped away so we could do letters from you because if we don't read the letters, then it's a sad day, right?
It's a sad day every day.
No, sad day for you, but when we don't read letters, we get letters saying, why did you not write letters, read letters? And it's like, I don't know what to say. I have to read this letter during letters, and now a letter that should have been read is not read because I'm reading a complaint letter about not reading letters.
Du bist irgendwie bescheuert.
I don't understand German, but that was not good. Letters, please, Mr. Livingston.
I have an email from Amanda Adams.
Amanda Adams, she sounds like a movie star. How are you, by the
Yes.
way?
I'm well, despite everything.
You're not wearing your 3D glasses?
Well,
All right, Amanda Adams, where's she from? She doesn't say. All right, she goes, Dear Creature Features, my name is Amanda Adams, but I'm also known as the Scorpion Lady because I love and raise scorpions. Is that a thing?
it appears to be.
Is that like a farming type thing where she takes them to the farmer's market and says, oh, scorpions, $3 each?
I don't think so.
Why would she raise them? Anyways, I absolutely love your show. If you can, I'd love to see the movie The Black Scorpion. I don't know if we can get that one. Is that an old one or a new one, Tom?
It's an old one.
It's an old one. All right, we'll try to get that one for you. It's definitely worth a watch. I love you all. Also, I think Vincent is very handsome. See, I told you.
She needs glasses.
No, you need glasses, old man. She thinks I'm handsome. Or she just says that so I don't cut her allowance off. Keep up the great work. Cheers, Amanda. I wish you told us where you're from, Amanda. Where can you grow scorpions in the United States?
Arizona.
Arizona? Makes sense. Thanks for writing. Next up, Mr. Livingston.
Ted Levitt
Ted Levitt.
from Cleveland, Ohio. Well, was born in Cleveland, Ohio.
1 T or 2 on
Two.
Levitt. 2 T's as I suspected. All right. Oh, it's a long one. I shall read quickly. Hello, I was born in Cleveland, Ohio and grew up in the 60s. Ghoulardi was the king of local pop culture. He taught a generation important things like always questioning authority, and there were many ways to be an adult while not taking everything so seriously. Perhaps you've heard of him. He was an iconic horror host. We hear about Ghoulardi all the time, right?
Occasionally.
No, he has many followers, and many of them have become our followers, so we owe a tip of the hat to Ghoulardi, right? Plus, he probably did this much longer than us, and probably much better, too. On the movies he showed, my favorites were the ones about giant special effects creatures. Grasshoppers, crabs, tarantulas, lizards, and especially them, about giant ants living in the sewers. Didn't we show them at one point?
That was Tangella's favorite, actually.
Oh, was it? No, it wouldn't surprise me. We showed Gorgo. He was a giant monster.
He wasn't an ant.
Well, of course he wasn't a bloody ant. He was a lizard thing. He was like the English Godzilla.
The English Godzilla.
He was the English Godzilla. I get to relive part of my teenage years with your show and really appreciate your efforts. What would be great is more 50s sci-fi if you can still get them. Thank you. I love your show, Ted. Well, tonight, The Maze 1953. So it was opportune that he wrote to us at this time when we're
Indeed.
showing one. Thanks for writing. Oh, we're getting lots of good notes tonight. You know, typically we get complaints and, oh, why don't you show this movie instead of that one? All right, this one is from Ben Penniman. Am I saying that right?
I believe so.
Or Pennyman. I think it's Penniman. From Saratoga, California. He goes, Dear Vincent, you're terrible. You're terrible? All right, let me try this again. Dear Vincent, you're terrible. No, you're so spasmodically horrid that even terrible people will cringe at the sight of you on their televisions. Well, maybe on your television, you've got that old Zenith.
It works.
No, I look fine on a good television. You should go back to making music. At least if you were heard on the radio and not seen on the screen, there would probably be less sorrow and misery in this difficult world that you've most definitely made a good deal worse. Cordially yours, Ben Pennyman. Well, I think you woke up on the wrong side of the bed.
He seems to be in a bad mood.
No, that's the only logical explanation for a correspondence like this, is it not?
Perhaps.
My support staff over here. He's my Amen corner.
Amen indeed.
Right.
That's the last one.
Anyways, that's it for letters. If you'd like to send us a letter of your own, go to Hello Creature Features. It's a website. And when you go to the website, it tells you how to write an email to us, or how to send a package, or how to send a box full of cash. Recently robbed from the U.S. Mint. That'd be nice.
I don't recommend that.
No, we don't recommend crime.
We don't recommend
No,
that. in
no
particular.
crime. No, don't do crime, right?
No crime.
Right. All right. We'll be right back with Tony Vella, but first let's get back to the maze. See you soon.
Hello, this is Mr. Livingston. It would appear that I have been tasked yet again to deliver another plea intended to separate you from your hard-earned money. This program now has its own channel and associated apps that allow you to watch the entire Creature Features library and much more. Entitled Creature Features TV, this is a system that works much like Netflix or Hulu. Besides early access to all the new Creature Features episodes, you'll also have access to many other offerings and some archival episodes of the original show with Mr. Bob Wilkins. You'll also have exclusive access to a new Creature Features show that will be introduced soon and will not be available anywhere else. Your generous but modest monthly subscription fee will also greatly assist in the continued production of the show, so there's that as well. Miss Tangela has asked me to inform you that if you subscribe to Creature Features TV, she will be sure to create more dancing videos just for you. I think not. So please visit www.creaturefeaturestv.com to learn more. Thank you for your time.
Use hairspray.
Do I?
Yes.
No, it's actually a little mixture of cement and concrete.
I should try that. Oh, my hair won't stay in place. Welcome back to Creature Features. Yeah, I should just run music instead of doing that. Yeah, some kind of little bumper that says, welcome back to Creature Features. Sung by professionals, no less. But I have to fill in until Mr. Livingston will approve the budget. Anyways, we are with Tony Vella, Stuntman Tony Vella. We are watching The Maze from 1953, and we finally know now why this film is called The Maze. It's a giant hedge maze. Yeah, I think that Stanley Kubrick stole this idea for The Shining. Right?
It could be possible.
Right. Oh, look, he's doing it. Do it again. Do it again.
Well, it could be possible.
That's pretty. You should have pursued the whole impersonation thing. He did Captain Kirk during the break, and he did a pretty good. We're going to have you do some impersonations later, but we'll go back to the film in a minute. We are talking about your stunt career. What are some of the big ones you did early on?
Well, I got really lucky in the beginning of the career here in the Bay Area, where I'm born and raised in San Francisco native. I was actually able to get on Nash Bridges, the original
Which
series.
is with
Don Johnson.
Cheech
Marin,
and Cheech.
from
Cheech
and
Marin,
Chong,
right?
yeah.
Cheech. He was his sidekick, right? Right. So you got on that,
Yeah.
and what'd you do?
I actually ended up being a stunt double for one of the principal characters, a great actor named Jaime Gomez, who played Evan Cortez. And if you recall the show, he had these cool sideburns and a soul patch and pomped up hair, and
so
they
they would
made
do
me
that to you.
look like that. And here, getting this CUDA, very first day, what are we doing? Oh, never mind. We went right up Mason Street and jumped it.
You were behind the wheel.
No, I was in the back seat, and I flew up about
Oh my
2
goodness.
feet off of the seat. I was strapped in, and we hit the deck right in front of the St. Francis Hotel, and to a cheering crowd that was watching the filming.
So I take it was all cordoned off. And
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Police and safety.
But I didn't know that because this was my first day on the job, and the two stunt doubles for Don and Cheech were sort of giving me an initiation day, and so here sit in the back and be Evan, and here we
Right.
climbed up that hill, and then I was watching the speedometer
goodness.
go up to 40, and then we launched, silence.
How do you
Boom.
launch at 40? Is that enough speed
Yeah,
to launch?
yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
40 miles
Well, we were coming up the incline, so that got us up.
And I suppose the streets there just immediately dip. So,
Well, we actually flew out about 30 feet.
so you
as
did
well.
that how long?
I was off and on for, I came in at the end of the first season and worked off and on till the end of the sixth season, which was the end.
My goodness.
Doubling him off and on. And in that very last season, budget restraints, so they needed a stunt guy who could act for a scene. I auditioned for it and I got the part, finally. And I had a great scene with Philip Michael Thomas and Don Johnson, who were being held captive by Stephen Bauer from Scarface, if you remember. And so we had them chained up in a boiler room, and I come in as the bad guy, and there's some word play and word exchange, and I think I got the best of them until Nash tells me that Philip's character, Rick Hawks, has some money in his pocket, and I go to get it, and of course they ambush me, even though they're chained up, and that was pretty much it for me.
You know, I was going to watch that episode tonight, but you've already given me all the spoilers, so I think I'll skip it. But that was like one of your first big acting gigs, right?
That was a good one.
You were doing yourself, or you weren't doubling the other guy.
We were from Miami, so we were
Right.
playing, you know, we were those
go.
kind of guys.
There you
But,
go. All right. Well,
you see 'em
speaking
all
of
the
those
time.
kind of guys, we should be one of those kind of guys that get back to the film because it's time. All right. We're going to get back to you in a moment, but first let's get back to The Maze and see how amazing this film happens to be. See you soon.
G'day, this is Chris from Sydney, Australia. Love the show. Just wanted to do a bit of a Vincent impersonation, actually. And my cat Winchester says hello, and I'll name drop Tangella and Livingston. Back to the creature features.
Hello, this is Livingston. Apparently, one of my newly acquired domestic duties is to request help for our show financially by asking you to visit our Patreon page. Your generosity will help keep Creature Features on the air, which I'm not entirely sure is a good thing. However, with only a few dollars a month from you, your kindness will allow us to continue creating new programming each week, which apparently some of you curiously enjoy. And should you have the desire to give even more, you might even receive a gift from Ms. Tangella. I think not. Please visit the website below to learn more. Thank you.
Welcome back. The Maze. It's an amazing movie that was shot in Scotland.
Hutman.
Scotland, or it's supposed to be set in Scotland. Maybe they didn't film it there. Right? You ever been?
No, I haven't.
Neither have I. I wanted to go, and they told me they will not let you in unless you wear a kilt. And I thought, yeah, they fooled me. I could have gone in my trousers. They would have let me in. But I'll go back someday. You know, I haven't been home in some time, so ring my mother and say, get me a ticket to Scotland with a kilt. I'll wear a bloody kilt. Anyways, we'll get back to The Maze in a moment, but Tony Vella, Stuntman Tony Vella, you know, he does more than stunts. During the break, he was doing all kinds of impersonations. Now he's got some good ones. Do some, and then I shall guess what they are.
No.
Come on, give me a couple.
It's been a long time, but with a key, one unlocks the door to imagination. Beyond that is another dimension.
Rod
a dimension
Serling.
of
That's
sight.
good.
A dimension of sound. A dimension of mind. You're moving through a land of both shadow and substance. Of
You even
things
look like
and
him.
ideas. The next stop is
What's the bloody Twilight Zone, of course. No, that's good, because you do the whole face thing, too. All right, give me another.
I'm surprised I remembered that.
No, that was good.
Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the Starship Enterprise.
So
It's
that was
5
too
years.
easy. That was too easy because you basically told me who you were with the first line. So let's make it more difficult. Let's do one from a TV show.
A TV show. Oh. Gilligan.
Oh, that's what's his name? He's the rich guy. The third. Thurston Howell the third. Oh, he was wonderful.
That's about the back. He was also Mr. Magoo. Where I can see.
That's true. He did do the voice for Miss Magoo, but I think they got another actor to do the visual part. Right. All right. Any other cartoon characters?
Let's see. Well, most of the ones that I used to like to do go way back, and then it would be Hockey Smoke, Moose and Squirrel.
Oh, that's
Yellow Natasha
Bullwinkle.
That's not Bullwinkle.
No,
It's
but
Boris Badenov.
the cartoon was
Yeah,
Bullwinkle.
Yeah, Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Right.
You want to see me pull a rabbit out of my head?
Oh, he can even do Bullwinkle. Can you do the squirrel?
That's a little high. That was actually June Foray, who was a woman. But gee, Bullwinkle,
That's not bad.
I think it's the wrong hat.
It's not good either, but it's not bad.
It's
not bad.
way up there.
All right. Well,
Used to be better at that
what
one.
do you say we get back to this film? Because I bet these people would rather watch the film than hear our silliness, right?
But gee, Yogi, I think that'd be the way to go.
That was the best one you've done so far. All right, off we go. Back to the maze. And when we come back, we'll get back to talking about stunts instead of impersonations. See you soon.
This is Livingston, and you're watching Creature Features. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the show. We are watching The Maze, 1953, with Tony Vella, Stuntman. What have you done lately?
I've been pretty busy, fortunately. I just spent about 6 weeks up in Sacramento stunt coordinating and had a small acting part.
For what?
A film called No Address.
No address.
No Address.
Right.
Yeah, it's a serious drama
Right.
about homelessness.
Right.
Not an action movie, but it had a lot of action in it. So we had fights and falls and car work.
Who's in it?
We got Beverly D'Angelo,
Oh, I like her.
yeah, Mrs. Griswold,
Right.
and we have Billy Baldwin.
Which one is he?
He's the tall one.
How
He
many
was in
of,
Backdraft.
how many of them are in existence now? Where I look, there's a Baldwin.
I think it's 3. Yeah.
There's only 3 now. I
Yeah,
think
there
there's
might
like
be
5.
Might be 4. I know one played Barney Rubble, but
Oh my goodness, that's right. Now I remember him.
And,
All right, and so you did this in Sacramento. How convenient.
yeah.
You're
Well,
driving-
we were all over the area up there, Rockland, Folsom, a lot
Right.
of different locations outside, and elements up there were pretty rough. A lot of rain and hail and cold weather, but that's what we were making a movie about.
Shooting for. That's what you were shooting
Yeah,
for, right?
Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. All right, what else?
And then when I came back from that, I did a nice horror-themed little short called Princeton's in the Mix. That's going to go to Sundance. I can't give away too much about it, but what I can tell you, it's a thriller about a crazy mom chasing her son around. And
Sounds scary.
Going to do scary things, yeah.
Nice.
So there was that. If we backtrack a little bit, I did a feature that believe it's coming out in August called The Bellkeeper with WWE star Randy Couture. And that is going to be an interesting film. Now, we shot that down around the Santa Clarita area. All night shoots,
Right.
so overnighters every night except for, I think, the first couple of days. And that is a straight up, horror, scary movie. And again, don't want to give away too much about it, but lots of scares in it. That'll be great coming out.
Nice.
Another thriller that I just did very close was called Wilder Than Her.
Right.
So she might be wild, but she's wilder. And that's sort of a whodunit thriller. They go on a camping trip, and somebody in the woods is doing bad things. And I coordinated
you.
that. No, it wasn't me.
No, I bet it was you.
Well, I was assisting them in a way from the background. So when I coordinate, I'll read a script and read through and see what the action is, and then it's up to me to devise how we're going to do that. Keep everybody safe. If we need stunt doubles, we'll need stunt doubles if it's beyond the capability of the actors. Or we'll see what the actors are capable of, and we find movie magic ways of keeping them safe.
Right. Good. Well, let's see if we could keep safe while we end this film. Who knows what's going to happen at the end, right? You never know. And then when we come back, we're going to find out what you do next, right?
All right.
All right. Off we go to the end of the maze. When this film ends, you will see credits roll. Those are not all credits. They are for the film. So don't go away when the credits roll, because Tangela will be here and she'll be quite sad, or maybe angry, if you're not here when we come back. So stick around. We'll see you soon. Bye. And so ends the maze. A bloody frog. There's a giant frog. You like frogs. She keeps them in the tub. She thinks she's doing them a favor, bringing them inside, when they'd rather be out in a pond, not in your tub. She's silly. Anyways, okay film. It would have been better in 3D, I think, right? Yeah. If it was 3D, they could have done a thing with the frog catching a fly. That would have been nice in 3D. I don't know. I've not seen a 3D film since 1980, I think. Yeah.
Piranha.
Right. Anyways, what's next for Tony Vella, Stuntman?
I got some projects coming up, actually, the end of this month.
Nice.
Yeah, so it'll be...
Tell us everything. Tell us everything. He cannot chat about these things.
Sometimes I can, sometimes
I
I can't. This one, I can tell you, this one is a coming of age. Lots of teenagers in it, horsing around, fighting, and skateboards, and things like that. Yeah, so we'll see how that one goes.
You're not going to dress up like a teenager and try to pass as a 16-year-old.
No. But I have another scary one coming up after that, called Devotee. At least that's the working title now.
Is it a French film?
And that one I can't tell you anything about, but I'll be working with a very well-known producer who I've worked with many times before. And I'll just say Rick at Blue Creek Pictures if you want to look him up.
Or just look on his IMDb and you'll be able to figure it out.
Yeah, probably.
Do a little
That'll do it.
Wonderful. How do people find out more about your training and your stunt school and all that?
Yeah, sure. Well, let me let you know that it's not a school. I teach people that are seriously interested in a career in motion picture and television stunts for film. And if you want to get a hold of me, that is www.bayareastunts.com.
Easy peasy. Just go there, and then Tony will train you to do everything that Tom Cruise did in his last film, right? Maybe.
Well,
not the motorcycle thing.
We'll see. We'll see how close you can get.
Well, thank you for coming on, Tony,
Sure.
and watching this silly film with us. And we hope
Anytime.
you'll stay in touch. Next time you're in town, you come see us, right?
I will.
All right. And as far as you guys go, thank you for watching this film with us instead of The Godfather on Channel 4. You know, they could have been watching The Godfather on Channel 4. That's a good film. But they'd only see the first half because they're splitting it because it's too long. And thank you for staying up and watching the film with us. We hope you'll join us next Saturday for another edition of Creature Features. And I think we're going to have a Friday show as well, maybe. I don't know. We never know. But we're also on Friday. So make sure you join us. And don't forget, we love you. See you next time. So, Tony, you know, this thing about you doing impersonations, I think is brilliant. And I think I should learn to do some. And I think the first impersonation I'm going to do is of Tangella. Watch.
That was terrible.